The sun peeked through the curtains, casting a warm glow across the room. In a small bed, a boy named Alex lay peacefully asleep, wrapped in his favourite superhero-themed blanket. The room echoed with the gentle tick-tock of the clock on the wall. James tiptoed into the room, a mischievous smile playing on his lips. He approached the bed and leaned over, whispering in a sing-song voice, "Wake up, sleepyhead, it's time to conquer the day." Alex stirred, rubbing his eyes as he gradually awoke. His father grinned, ruffling his son's hair affectionately. As Alex sat up, the two shared a heartwarming morning kiss, a ritual that brought joy to both their faces. With a pat on Alex's back, James signaled that it was time to start the day. The boy hopped out of the bed, stretching his arms as he yawned. The routine began, a quick shower, getting dressed in his school uniform, and a glance at the mirror to ensure everything was in order. Downstairs in the kitchen, the aroma of freshly cooked breakfast filled the air. Alex descended the stairs with a skip in his step, looking forward to the morning meal with his father. However, as he reached the bottom, he noticed the empty chair where his father usually sat. A wave of disappointment washed over Alex's face. His father had left for the office without sharing their usual breakfast moment. Just as Alex felt a pang of sadness, the housekeeper, Isla, called out to him. "Good morning, Alex. Your breakfast is ready. Come have a seat," she said with a warm smile. The table was set, and Alex sat down to eat, the delicious aroma of the pancakes and maple syrup wafting through the air. Isla chatted with him, making sure he felt loved and cared for despite his father's absence. Just as Alex finished his breakfast, the doorbell rang. The driver, Wilson, stood at the entrance ready to take Alex to school. "Good morning, young sir. The car is waiting for you," he said. Alex nodded in acknowledgement, silently appreciating the familiar routine. He hopped into the car, and Wilson drove him to school, the gentle hum of the engine creating a comforting background noise. Upon reaching the school, Alex got out of the car and signed a heartfelt "thank you" to Wilson, who smiled back and drove away. Navigating the bustling corridors, Alex observed his classmates engaged in animated conversations, laughter echoing around him. As a mute child, he often felt isolated, but his ability to read lips and communicate through sign language so that he could listen allowed him to navigate the social landscape. Entering his classroom, Alex took his seat, arranging his books neatly on the desk. The peace was short-lived as three boys, notorious for their bullying tendencies, entered the room. Their eyes locked onto Alex, and they approached him with malicious grins. The trio surrounded Alex, mocking his inability to speak, unaware that he could understand every word. Alex remained calm, focusing on his studies until his best friend, who also knew sign language, Jake, stormed into the scene. "Hey, leave him alone! What's wrong with you guys?" Jake exclaimed, standing up for his friend. The bullies turned their attention to Jake, making snide remarks. The tension escalated and a confrontation seemed imminent. However, the timely intervention of the teacher prevented a physical altercation. The bell rang, signalling the start of the class. The teacher ushered everyone back to their seats, scolding the bullies and reminding the students of the importance of respect. With a grateful smile, Alex locked eyes with Jake, silently conveying his appreciation. Jake returned the smile, understanding the unspoken bond they shared. Classes continued throughout the day, offering a respite from the earlier encounter. Alex's focus remained unwavering, absorbing knowledge despite the challenges he faced. Meanwhile, in James's office, the day unfolded with a series of meetings and discussions. The highlight was a presentation on upcoming software services, complete with a PowerPoint display and enthusiastic discussions among the team members. The meeting room buzzed with excitement as James, the owner of the software company, prepared to unveil the new services. James smiled. "Good morning, everyone. Today we're here to discuss our upcoming software services. Let's dive right in," one team member said. "I'm eager to hear about the new projects. What's the first service on the agenda?" James replied.
Our first offering is a cutting-edge project management tool. It streamlines collaboration and boosts efficiency. Sarah, could you please pull up the presentation?
Sarah nodded and said, "Sure, James. Let me share the screen." The projector illuminated the room with a vibrant display of slides showcasing the features of the project management tool. A second team member said,
"This looks fantastic. How user-friendly is it?"
James,
"Great question. We've invested heavily in user experience. It's intuitive with a sleek interface to enhance productivity."
A third team member said, "What about security? Clients are always concerned about data safety."
James, "Absolutely. We've implemented robust security measures. It's designed to meet the highest industry standards." Any other questions before we move on?
As the discussion continued, the team delved into specifics, discussing implementation timelines, potential challenges, and strategies to overcome them. A fourth team member, "I love the innovative approach, but how do we market this to our clients?"
James, "An excellent point. Our marketing team is developing a comprehensive strategy." Laura, could you share some insights on that?
Laura, "Certainly, James. We plan to leverage social media, targeted advertising, and client testimonials to build anticipation. We want our clients to see the real impact of our services." The room resonated with positive energy as the team brainstormed ideas, shared expertise, and collaborated on refining the presentation.
James said, "I appreciate everyone's input. Let's continue this momentum. Our second service focuses on..."
The meeting progressed, with each team member contributing valuable insights. The atmosphere remained dynamic, fostering a sense of shared enthusiasm and dedication to the company's success. In the end, the meeting concluded with a sense of accomplishment, as the team eagerly anticipated the upcoming launch of the innovative software services. As noon approached, students at the school dispersed for lunch. Alex and Jake found a quiet corner in the cafeteria, chatting animatedly about the latest manga releases. Jake's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm, and he shared the details with Alex, who responded with animated sign language. In the bustling cafeteria, Alex and his friend Jake found this quiet corner to enjoy their lunch together, and the aroma of various dishes mingled in the air as they settled down. Jake said enthusiastically, "Hey, Alex, have you checked out the new manga that hit the market? It's mind-blowing!" Alex nodded, his eyes lighting up with curiosity. Jake excitedly said, "You've got to read it. The storyline is so intense. The artwork is just next level. I couldn't put it down last night." Alex grinned, expressing his eagerness through animated sign language. Jake chuckled, understanding his friend's silent enthusiasm. Jake, "I know, right? The plot twists are crazy and the character development is on point. I wish I could discuss it with someone who appreciates it as much as I do." Alex responded with a series of expressive signs, conveying that he was always up for a good manga discussion. Jake said, "Oh, and the fight scenes, they're so well drawn. The artist knows how to capture the intensity of the battles. It's like you're right there with the characters." As Jake continued to share his thoughts, Alex absorbed every detail, his eyes reflecting the excitement of the conversation. Despite being unable to verbally respond, his gestures and expressions spoke volume. Jake, "And guess what? I heard there's going to be a sequel! Can you believe it? I can't wait to see what the story goes next!" Alex reacted with a mix of surprise and delight, his hands moving energetically to convey his anticipation. Jake, "I'm thinking of getting the next volume this weekend. You should come with me to the bookstore. We can grab some snacks and make a day out of it." Alex nodded enthusiastically, a broad smile forming on his face. The prospect of spending a day immersed in manga with his friend brought genuine joy to him. As the lunchtime conversation continued, Jake and Alex developed a stronger friendship. Their shared love for manga became a bridge that strengthened their friendship, turning each lunch break into a cherished moment of camaraderie and understanding. After lunch, they returned to class and Alex noticed the absence of the bullies. Word spread that they were participating in a swimming competition, providing a reprieve from their taunts. classes resumed, and the school day neared its end. As the final bell rang, Alex and Jake exited the school together. Wilson, the driver, awaited them, ready to take them home. The journey back was filled with laughter and shared glances, the bond between the friends deepening with each passing moment. Upon reaching Alex's house, Jake suggested spending the evening together, as his family was away. As they entered the house, the housekeeper, Isla, greeted them warmly and brought out snacks for the boys to enjoy. The room echoed with their laughter as they indulged in the snacks and immersed themselves in the manga they had discussed earlier. Homework time arrived, but it felt less burdensome with a friend by Alex's side. They collaborated on assignments, sharing ideas and helping each other understand the concepts. As the clock struck 8 p.m, Jake's parents arrived to pick him up. The friends bid farewell, promising to meet again soon. Alex thanked Isla and retreated to his room. Feeling a sense of contentment, Alex took out his sketchbook and began to draw. The soothing strokes of his pencil created a world of imagination, a realm where words were unnecessary. Around 11 p.m, James returned home, exhausted from a day of work. Greeting Isla, he inquired about Alex's well-being. Learning that his son had not eaten dinner, concern crept into James's expression. After a quick dinner, he went to Alex's room, finding the boy peacefully asleep. A mixture of guilt and love filled James's heart. He decided to stay by his son's side, seeking solace in the warmth of their shared presence. The next morning, Alex woke up to find his father beside him. A tender smile graced James's face as he whispered, "Good morning, my little artist." The next morning, as the sun painted the sky in hues of pink and orange, James gently woke up his son, Alex. James smiled. "Good morning, champ, ready to conquer the day?" Alex, with a smile spreading across his face, nodded and hugged his father in response. "James, how about a promise? Let's have breakfast together and I'll drop you at school." Alex, agreeing with a cheerful sign language response, quickly went to freshen up and get ready for school. His excitement was palpable as he descended the stairs, ready for a morning filled with father-son bonding. As he reached the dining table, relief washed over Alex upon seeing his father already seated, ready for breakfast. James patted the chair. "Sit down, Alex. Let's enjoy our breakfast together." However, just as they began to share this precious moment, James's phone rang. It was a call from a shareholder requiring an urgent meeting. James, apologetically, "Oh, I'm sorry, Alex. I have to go to a meeting. We'll catch up later, I promise." Alex's face dropped, a mix of disappointment and sadness clouding his eyes. The housekeeper, Isla, sensing his distress, tried to cheer him up. Isla, "Oh, don't worry, Alex. Your father will be back soon. How about we prepare your favourite snack while you wait?" However, Alex, feeling left out, left the house without having breakfast, and a sense of emptiness lingered within him. At school, Alex met his best friend Jake, and together they made their way to the class. With Jake by his side, Alex felt a sense of security, shielding him from the potential bullying he often faced. Entering the classroom, the three bullies noticed their strong friendship and muttered amongst themselves about the unbreakable bond between Alex and Jake. However, they dared not cross the line, aware of Jake's prowess as a black belt champion. The day progressed with classes, and soon it was time for the sports period. Alex, proficient in both academics and sports, showcased his skills in volleyball and running. The sports ground echoed with applause as Alex secured the first position in the running warm-up. During the volleyball game, some girls made pitiful comments about Alex's mute condition, unaware that Jake overheard them. Simultaneously, one of the bullies tried to harm Alex by trapping a stone under his leg. Jake, quick to notice, shouted at the bully, indirectly warning him that he was being watched. The bullies, intimidated by Jake's presence, refrained from causing harm to Alex. Lunch break brought a moment of respite. Alex and Jake sat on a bench discussing the events of the day. Alex, curious, asked Jake about the warning he gave to the bully. Alex signed. "Why did you say that to him?" Jake, "He was trying to hurt you. I couldn't let that happen." Alex, expressing gratitude through signs, smiled at Jake. They finished their lunch and returned to class as the day continued with the usual lessons. As the school day concluded, Jake went home and Alex waited for his driver. However, the driver was late, prompting the 3 bullies to approach and tease Alex about his wealth and inability to speak. As Alex waited for his driver after school, the 3 bullies approached him, malicious smirks on their faces. Carter, the first bully, sarcastically said,
Well, if it isn't the rich mute boy. Look at him, waiting like he's some sort of VIP.
William, the second bully, mockingly said,
Hey, mute boy, why don't you just use all that money and buy yourself a voice? Maybe then you won't be so pathetic.
Alex, trying to ignore them, responded with subtle signs, gesturing for them to leave him alone. Henry, the third bully, laughing, said,
Oh, what's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Oh wait, it's not a cat, it's just you, incapable of speaking.
Alex continued to sign, attempted to convey that he didn't want any trouble, but the bullies persisted. Carter, the first bully, taunted,
You know, it's almost sad, all that money and still can't fix what's broken.
William, the second bully, sarcastically,
Maybe you should hire a personal translator. Oh, that's right, no one would want that job.
Alex, feeling frustrated, glanced around anxiously, hoping his driver would arrive soon. Henry, the third bully, sarcasted,
Look at him, guys, a mute boy with a fancy car and a fancy life.
Must be tough.
Just as the teasing reached its peak, the honk of the car echoed in the distance and Alex saw his driver approaching. Alex, relieved, quickly got up and moved towards the car, leaving the bullies behind. The driver, sensing the tension, asked if everything was okay, to which Alex nodded and gestured that they were just 3 friends hanging around. As the car pulled away, the bullies were left behind, their laughter fading into the distance. The incident left Alex feeling a mix of frustration and sadness, the echoes of their hurtful words lingering in his mind. Upon reaching home, Alex went straight to his room, feeling drained and upset. The housekeeper noticed his behaviour change and grew concerned. Isla called,
Alex, it's dinner time, come have some food.
However, Alex, consumed by his emotions, had very little dinner and retreated to his room. The housekeeper, troubled by his declining appetite, decided to inform James when he returned. Late at night, James arrived home, greeted by the housekeeper, who expressed her concerns about Alex's well-being. Isla said, James, Alex has been eating less lately. Please check on him. James, concerned, went to Alex's room, only to find him sound asleep. Reluctant to wake him, he decided to observe and talk to him in the morning. The next morning, after having a late dinner, James, still in his work attire, went to Alex's room. Seeing him sleeping peacefully, James couldn't bring himself to disturb his son. James whispered,
Sleep well, my boy, we'll talk in the morning.
With that, he left the room, silently hoping that the morning light would bring clarity and an opportunity to address the underlying issues troubling his son. The next morning, Alex woke up late, as it was a school holiday. Rubbing his eyes, he realized his father had already left for work, a common occurrence in their routine. Unfazed, he decided to make his breakfast while enjoying his favourite TV programme. As he settled in front of the television, his friend Jake called. The housekeeper, Isla, answered the phone.
Hello?
Jake said.
Hi, is Alex there?
Isla. Yes, he's there. Hold on. She told Alex that Jake had called. Alex. Okay, ask him why he called, he signed to Isla. Isla asked, Why is the reason you called? Jake. Can you ask Alex if he wants to come over to my house at noon to hang out? Alex, using sign language, agreed to the plan. Isla nodded, indicating she understood. Sure, Jake, Alex will be there at noon. The call ended and Alex turned to Isla. Alex wrote and showed, I'll be at Jake's house, so you don't need to make lunch. If you want to go somewhere, you can. Isla nodded. Okay, Alex, have a great time at Jake's. At 12:30 p.m, Alex went to Jake's house. Jake's mother greeted him at the door, welcoming him with a warm smile. Jake and his sister were watching TV when Alex entered. Alex said, Hello, in sign language. They exchanged greetings, and soon the trio found themselves upstairs, immersed in video games and manga. Jake's mother prepared some spaghetti for them and called them down. They enjoyed the meal, and as a gesture of gratitude, Alex signed a thank you to Jake's mother, who responded with a heartfelt smile. After some more playtime, Alex bid farewell and returned home. With the housekeeper present, he spent the evening watching TV. Isla said, "Do you want something to eat, Alex?" Alex, in writing, replied, "No, and don't make dinner for me." Concerned, Isla asked why he wasn't eating properly, to which Alex simply replied that he wasn't very hungry. Although she sensed there was more to it, there was little she could do. Late at night, James returned home earlier than usual. He found Alex watching TV, but there was no response from his son. Undeterred, he sat next to Alex and drew him close. James.
"What's my dear son doing?"
Alex, in writing, "Watching TV." Without saying anything, Alex switched off the TV and retreated to his room. It felt odd to him, and he glanced toward Isla, seeking an explanation.
"What happened to him?"
Isla. "Oh, I don't know. He didn't even have dinner and has been watching for a while." James, concerned, approached Alex's room and asked if everything was okay. Alex simply wrote, "Everything is all right. You can go to your room." James, "Okay, I'm going." As he left, Alex went to his bed and drifted into sleep. James, feeling the disturbance in their relationship, lost his appetite and went to bed early. The distant silence and the unresolved issues lingered, casting a shadow over their household. The unspoken turmoil left both father and son grappling with a growing disconnect, a strain that seemed to widen with each passing day. Days turned into a disheartening routine as Alex continued to isolate himself in his room, the distance between him and his father growing with each passing moment. His father, James, and the housekeeper, Isla, couldn't help but notice the odd behaviour, and concern began to weigh heavily on their hearts. Every attempt James made to engage with his son was met with silence. Alex spent his days holed up in his room, barely eating and rarely acknowledging his father's presence. The worry etched on James's face deepened, not just because of the emotional distance, but also because of Alex's declining health due to his lack of nourishment. One Sunday, with a glimmer of hope, James decided to break the monotony and take Alex to an amusement park. He hoped that the joyous atmosphere might lift his son's spirits. He approached Alex's room and gently knocked on the door.
"Alex, how about we go to the amusement park today? Get ready, we'll leave soon."
Alex, showing a hint of excitement, nodded in agreement. Perhaps the change of scenery could bridge the gap that seemed to be widening between them. They left for the amusement park, and for a brief moment, the thrill of the rides managed to break through the barrier that had enveloped Alex. However, as they took some rides, James found himself engrossed in replying to work-related messages, unintentionally neglecting the opportunity to connect with his son. The moment of truth arrived when they sat down to eat. As they enjoyed their meal, James's phone rang, pulling him away from the father-son time he desperately wanted to cherish. He excused himself to take the call, unaware that this brief absence would lead to a significant turn of events. Upon returning, he found an empty seat where Alex had been sitting just moments ago. Panic set in as he searched every nook and cranny of the amusement park, desperately calling out his son's name. The realization that Alex was nowhere to be found left him frantic. Amid the search, his phone rang. It was Isla, the housekeeper. "James, Alex is back home. He went straight to his room." The tension in the James household had escalated to a breaking point after the incident at the amusement park. The strained relationship between father and son seemed irreparable. The weight of unspoken words hung heavily in the air. James, still seething with frustration, returned home later that evening. The atmosphere in the house was thick with tension as he entered and headed straight for Alex's room. The confrontation that followed was intense and emotionally charged, with no room for understanding or forgiveness. James was angry.
"Alex, I can't keep dealing with this silent treatment. What's going on with you?"
Alex, tears welling up in his eyes, responded with a mix of signs and emotional expressions, desperately trying to communicate the turmoil within him. James, aware of his son's mute condition but letting anger cloud his judgment, dismissed Alex's attempt to communicate.
"I don't have time for your gestures, Alex. Just write and tell me."
Alex, feeling both frustrated and helpless, continued signing vigorously, tears streaming down his face. The silence that had once been a means of communication now seemed like an impenetrable wall. James, unable to comprehend the signs, grew even more exasperated. He raised his voice.
"This is ridiculous! You're my son and we should be able to talk like normal people!"
Alex, feeling the weight of his father's frustration, attempted to write something down to express himself. However, James, in the heat of the argument, dismissed the gesture.
"I don't have time for this. You're acting like a child!"
The harsh words hung in the room, creating an unsettling silence. Isla, witnessing the scene unfold, felt a heavy heart, knowing the bond between father and son was unravelling before her eyes. The argument escalated as James, overwhelmed by his stress and worries, continued to lash out in frustration.
"I'm your father and I deserve some respect. You can't just shut me out like this."
Alex, unable to find the right signs to convey the depth of his feelings, resorted to gestures and cries, attempting to bridge the gap between them. The house echoed with the intensity of the argument, and the once strong connection between father and son seemed to crumble with each passing word. In a final burst of frustration, James uttered words that he would later regret.
"Fine! If you want to be left alone, so be it. I'm done trying."
With those words, he stormed out of Alex's room, leaving the door ajar. Alex, feeling a mix of sadness, anger, and loneliness, locked himself in his room, the weight of the argument settling into his heart. Isla, witnessing the fallout, felt a deep sorrow for the fractured family she had grown to care for. The once happy household was now filled with echoes of an argument that had left scars on their hearts of father and son. As James drove away, the weight of his actions sank in. He felt a pang of guilt for scolding his son, who was going through a tough time. Meanwhile, Isla observed the growing distance between father and son, a sadness in her eyes for the once strong bond that now seemed to be unravelling. Back in his room, Alex cried silently, the weight of the strained relationship and his father's words heavy on his heart. Locked away from the world, he grappled with the loneliness and frustration that had taken root within him. In the quiet house, the echoes of unspoken words reverberated, creating an unsettling atmosphere. The once vibrant and connected family now faced the daunting challenge of rebuilding the bridge that seemed to be collapsing between them. The following days became a desolate period. The house, once filled with warmth, now harboured a heavy silence as both father and son grappled with the aftermath of their emotional clash. The bridge between them, once sturdy, now seemed perilously close to collapse. Days turned into a dreary routine for Alex after the heated argument with his father. The once vibrant household now echoed with silence as both father and son maintained the stubborn silence. James, weighed down by his responsibilities, left for work early each day, leaving Alex to navigate the challenges of school and life alone. In school, Alex's isolation didn't go unnoticed by his best friend, Jake. During lunch one day, Jake approached Alex, concern etched on his face. "Hey, Alex, something's not right. Are you okay?" Alex, using his sign language, shared the turmoil he had been going through since the fight with his father. Jake, understanding the gravity of the situation, offered his support. "If you want, I can talk to your dad. Maybe he just needs to understand how you're feeling." Alex, reluctant to involve anyone else in the family matter, refused Jake's offer. However, Jake, being the good friend that he was, assured Alex of his presence and understanding. "All right, I won't push it. Just know that I'm here for you. By the way, I'll be absent for the next 2 days. Grandpa's birthday. Stay safe, okay? If anything happens, let me know." Alex nodded in gratitude, and Jake went on his way. The school day continued, and eventually Alex returned home, where the weight of his solitude awaited him. Days passed. The solitude intensified. The bullies at school, aware of Jake's absence, saw Alex as an easy target. One day they cornered him in the lobby, teasing him relentlessly. A passing teacher intervened, and Alex managed to escape, but the fear and anxiety lingered. Determined to avoid further confrontation, Alex decided to skip lunch and hide in the classroom. The first day of his self-imposed isolation passed relatively normally. However, the next day the bullies caught him again, dragging him into the storage room. They taunted him, testing his resilience. Alex endured it all until one bully crossed the line by mocking his deceased mother. Fueled by rage, Alex punched the bully and fled. Back at home, Alex was shattered physically and emotionally. That evening he retreated to his room, unable to face the world outside. The housekeeper noticed his worsening condition and shared her concerns with James, but his busy schedule kept him from taking immediate action. The next day marked Jake's return to school. Alex greeted him, but the events of the past few days remained unspoken. Jake sensed something was amiss, but didn't press further. When he asked about the bullying, Alex downplayed it, reassuring Jake that the teachers intervened most of the time. With a group project on the horizon, Alex and Jake decided to collaborate. They spent the evening at Jake's house working on the project, completing half of it. As the night progressed, Alex, feeling a sense of comfort, asked if he could stay over. Alex signed. "Can I sleep here tonight? I'm not feeling like going back." Jake, understanding the unspoken plea, agreed. Alex's absence at home didn't go unnoticed by his father, who, upon inquiring with Isla, learnt about the project at Jake's house.
"Alex is at Jake's? All right, as long as he's safe." The next morning they continued working on the project, submitting it after 2 days. Jake observed that the bullies were less bothersome, but he couldn't ignore Alex's changed behaviour. Concerned for his friend, Jake decided it was time to involve his father.
"Something's not right with Alex. The bullies are targeting him, and he's not acting like himself. We need to do something." During challenges, the project completion marked a small victory for Alex and Jake. However, the road to healing the fractures in Alex's life, both at home and in school, remained uncertain. One evening, Jake, burdened by the weight of his concern for Alex, decided it was time to involve someone who would make a difference. He took out his phone and dialed James's number. Jake nervously.
"Hello, James, it's Jake. I need to talk to you about Alex."
James, curious.
"Jake, is everything okay?"
Jake took a deep breath, bracing himself for the difficult conversation that lay ahead.
"No, things aren't okay. James, I've been noticing some changes in Alex, and I think you need to know."
James, concerned.
"Changes? What's going on?"
Jake carefully began recounting the events of the past few weeks, detailing Alex's isolation, the bullying at school, and the strained relationship between father and son. He told everything that Alex expressed to him about his feelings for his father's behaviour.
"He's been acting very oddly, avoiding everyone. The bullies at school are making things worse, and I'm really worried about him, James."
James listened intently, a mix of concern and guilt creeping into his voice.
"I had no idea it had gotten this bad. Why didn't he tell me?"
I think he's afraid to, sir. A lot is going on, and I don't think he wants to burden you. But he needs someone to talk to, someone to help him." James sincerely said,
"I appreciate you bringing this to my attention, Jake. I'll talk to him. We'll figure this out."
Before ending the call, Jake hesitated for a moment, then spoke with a sense of urgency.
"James, please don't let Alex know that I told you about all this. I don't want him to feel betrayed. Just help him, okay?"
James, grateful, said,
"I understand, Jake. I'll handle it delicately. Thank you for looking out for him."
The call ended, leaving both Jake and James with a shared understanding of the challenges Alex was facing. Jake hoped that, in reaching out to James, he had initiated a path toward healing for his troubled friend. The realization struck James like a bolt of lightning after Jake's heartfelt conversation. The walls of miscommunication and isolation that had surrounded Alex started to crumble, revealing the pain that his son had been silently enduring. Feeling a heavy burden of guilt, James blamed himself for not being more attentive to his son's needs. His demanding work schedule had kept him away, inadvertently creating a chasm between them. The weight of his realization hung over him as he sat alone in his office, thoughts swirling in his mind. James said to himself,
"I've been so focused on work that I neglected the most important part of my life, my son. I need to make things right."
His gaze fell on the calendar, and the approaching date of Alex's birthday caught his eye. A spark of an idea ignited within him, a plan to bridge the gap between them. Determined to connect with Alex on a deeper level, he decided to learn sign language as a surprise for his son's birthday. However, the urgency of the situation prompted him to take immediate action. Concerned about the bullies tormenting Alex, James decided to conduct a background check on the 3 boys and their families. He enlisted the help of a private investigator to gather evidence of the bullying, wanting to address the issue head-on. Simultaneously, he pondered a significant decision for his company. Realizing the need for a work-life balance, he decided to discuss the matter with his board and shareholders, seeking their understanding and support for a change in priorities. For next week, he scheduled an afternoon meeting to address the company matters. He sent out official emails through his secretary, notifying the board and shareholders about the meeting. Meanwhile, the private investigator delved into the background of the bullies, collecting information to support Alex's case. As the day unfolded, James wrapped up his work early and headed home with a newfound determination to reconnect with his son. He knocked on Alex's door, and upon entering he saw his son immersed in drawing.
"Hey, champ, can we talk?"
Alex looked up, surprised by his father's presence. He nodded, and James took a seat beside him.
"I've been thinking a lot lately. I want to apologise for the way I've been. I've neglected you, and I'm so sorry for that."
Alex, picking up a notepad, wrote, "You realise your mistake now, Daddy? I was missing you so much, but you didn't pay attention to me. I was living on my own." James's eyes filled with remorse, and he pulled Alex into a heartfelt embrace.
"I'm sorry, Alex. From now on, I'll spend as much time with you as I can."
Alex, still cautious, wrote, "Don't force yourself, Dad. If you need to work, I'll understand."
James insisted, "No, I want to. Tomorrow I'll be making a big decision, and I'll tell you about it tomorrow evening, but be ready for a surprise."
Alex nodded, feeling a glimmer of hope. That evening, the atmosphere in the James' household shifted. Father and son sat together for dinner, the housekeeper beaming with joy at the sight of their shared smiles. The warmth of family togetherness slowly replaced the long-standing chill. Isla said, "It's been so long since both of you were smiling like this and coming together." Both James and Alex smiled in acknowledgement, realizing the significance of this moment. They enjoyed their dinner, talking and laughing, creating a newfound sense of connection. After dinner, father and son retired to Alex's room. The once isolated space now felt like a haven of warmth and understanding. As they settled in for the night, side by side, a sense of healing began to wash over their strained relationship. The next morning dawned with a newfound warmth in the James household. James, determined to rebuild his relationship with Alex, woke his son with a gentle melody playing softly in the background. The room was filled with the sweet scent of breakfast, and the morning sun streamed through the curtains.
"Good morning, champ. Ready for a great day ahead?"
Alex, still half asleep, smiled at his father's cheerful demeanour and nodded. The thought of a harmonious morning filled him with joy. After freshening up, Alex joined his father at the breakfast table, where a spread of his favourite dishes awaited.
"I thought we could start the day with a good meal together."
As they enjoyed breakfast, father and son engaged in light-hearted conversation, breaking the silence that had lingered for far too long.
"How about we head to school together today?"
Alex, pleasantly surprised, agreed with a nod. The car ride to school was filled with laughter and shared stories. Upon arrival, James gave Alex a reassuring hug and exchanged greetings with Jake, who observed the heartwarming scene from a distance.
"Take care, Alex. I'll see you later."
The happiness radiating from Alex caught Jake's attention.
"Hey, everything okay?"
Alex, beaming with joy, shared the news of his father's efforts to rebuild their relationship.
"Oh, that's awesome, Alex. I'm happy for you."
The friends entered their classroom, where the positive atmosphere seemed to chase away the shadows of the past. Even the usual taunts from the bullies lost their sting in the face of Alex's newfound confidence. Morning classes proceeded smoothly, and when lunchtime arrived, Alex and Jake continued their conversations with an air of contentment. Alex and Jake's friendship blossomed, and Alex gradually began to confide in Jake about the changes happening at home. The school days became a platform for their silent yet powerful conversations. After the lunch break, Alex and Jake sat together on a bench in the school courtyard. The sun shone brightly overhead as they unwrapped their lunches. Jake noticed a subtle change in Alex's demeanour.
Hey, something on your mind, Alex?
Alex nodded. Yeah, Jake, my dad. He's been different lately, in sign language.
Jake? Different? How so?
Alex in sign language. He's decided to spend more time with me. It's like he's making an effort to understand me better.
Oh, that sounds great. Why do you seem a bit unsure?
I appreciate it, but it's just sudden, you know? I'm not used to this in sign language. Jake supportively said, change can be a bit difficult, but it sounds like your dad is trying to connect with you.
That's pretty cool, don't you think?
Alex softly smiled. Yeah, it is. Just need some time to adjust in sign language.
As days passed, Alex continued to share his evolving feelings about the changing dynamics at home with Jake. Each lunch break became an opportunity for them to exchange thoughts. The lunchtime conversations evolved into a testament to friendship, trust, and shared growth. Alex and Jake continued to navigate the complexities of adolescence, finding solace in their unspoken bond.
After a week at the office, the crucial board meeting began. James, the owner of the software company, addressed the directors and shareholders, expressing his decision to entrust the company to professional managers. He emphasized the potential benefits of this shift in management. After hearing his rationale, a voting session ensued, and unanimously the decision was in favor of James's proposal. The announcement of his decision to step down from the chairman position reverberated through the company. In the aftermath of the meeting, James addressed the employees in the auditorium, thanking them for their hard work and explaining the reasons behind his decision. He assured them that he would remain actively involved in the company as a member of the board and shareholder. With the professional transition announced, James returned to his office, expressing gratitude to his assistant for her dedicated support over the years. He informed her that he would be working under the new CEO or any team of her choice. The assistant chose to continue working under the new CEO's leadership, expressing her thanks for James's guidance. Leaving the office, James headed to pick up Alex from school. As the day concluded, Alex rushed out, elated to see his father waiting for him. Jake, waiting for his transportation, was invited to join them, and soon they were on their way home. Back at the James residence, the atmosphere continued to be one of joy and togetherness. Changing into more comfortable attire, father and son settled in to watch their favourite TV program. Laughter and shared moments filled the room, creating a sense of normalcy that had been absent for too long. James, sensing the right moment, shared the news of his decision to step down from the chairman position.
I've decided to let professional managers take over for the growth of the company. I'll be working from home, but we'll go to the company if needed.
Alex, curious and supportive, asked if the decision was influenced by him. James denied it, assuring Alex that it was for the company's benefit. Reassured, Alex supported his father's decision. With dinner concluded, Alex retired to his room for an early night, as school awaited the next day. His father, however, retreated to his study, ready to embark on a new journey, learning sign language. As he started his practice, a symbolic gesture of bridging the communication gap with his son, James felt a sense of accomplishment. Little did he know that this was just the beginning of a journey that would bring father and son closer than ever before. In the quietude of the night, James entered his study with a renewed sense of purpose. The room, adorned with leather-bound books and dim lighting, provided a reflective atmosphere for his newfound commitment. As he sat at his desk, a laptop glowed softly, casting a subtle light on his face. With a determined look, he accessed online resources and instructional videos on sign language. The unfamiliar gestures and expressions on the screen seemed like a mysterious language waiting to be deciphered. Undeterred, James began practicing the basics, mimicking the graceful movements he saw in the tutorials. The silence of the room was occasionally interrupted by the clicking sound of the keyboard as he navigated through the different lessons. The intricacies of sign language unfolded before him, and he absorbed each lesson with unwavering focus.
His dedication to learning this new language was not just about gestures. It was a heartfelt commitment to connect with his son in a way that transcended words. As he practiced, James envisioned the day when he could effortlessly communicate with Alex, bridging the gap that had silently grown over the years. He imagined the joy on his son's face when he would understand that his father was not just willing to listen, but to speak his language, to share in his world. The days ticked away, but James remained engrossed in his learning journey. He practiced common phrases and expressions and even learnt the alphabet of sign language. The initial awkwardness gradually transformed into a more fluid and confident execution of the signs. In his practice, James stumbled upon a sign language instructor offering virtual lessons. Seeing an opportunity for more personalised guidance, he enrolled in the course, eager to refine his skills under the tutelage of an experienced teacher. Soon, James's study became a sanctuary of commitment and love. The thought of surprising Alex with his newfound ability on his son's birthday fueled his determination. Learning sign language was not merely a gesture, it was a silent promise to Alex that his father was willing to meet him halfway, to understand him in a way that transcended the limitations of verbal communication. In the cosy tranquility of the morning, Alex woke up to find his father still peacefully sleeping. Wanting to let him rest a bit longer, Alex decided to get ready for school on his own. As he emerged from the washroom, dressed in his school uniform, he noticed his father was not in the room. A hint of worry crossed his face as he ventured out to search for him. His quest led him to the kitchen, where an unexpected sight awaited him. There, in place of the usual housekeeper, was his father, skillfully flipping pancakes on the stove. Alex couldn't contain his surprise and joy. He immediately rushed forward and wrapped his arms around his father, silently expressing the warmth he felt. His father reciprocated the hug and, with a smile, reassured Alex that he was taking a break from the office for a while. He conveyed that if ever he had to go to work, he would make sure to inform Alex beforehand. Together they enjoyed a homemade breakfast, a simple yet profound moment that spoke volumes about the newfound connection between father and son. After the hearty breakfast, James drove him to school. On the way, they encountered a trio of bullies approaching the school gates. In a silent show of protective strength, James glared at them, causing the bullies to pause and reconsider their actions. The unspoken message was clear. Alex had a vigilant guardian watching over him. At school, the bullies decided to lay low for a while, sensing the unyielding determination in James's eyes. Jake noticed the change in their behaviour and sensed that something significant must have occurred. He made a mental note to check in on Alex later. Back at home after dropping off Alex, his father received a call from the private investigator. The private investigator, a seasoned professional with a knack for gathering information, delved into the task of uncovering the background of the 3 bully boys who had been tormenting Alex. Armed with determination and discretion, he worked diligently to provide James with a comprehensive report. The investigator arranged a discreet meeting with James at a quiet coffee shop. The air was filled with an aura of confidentiality as they sat in a secluded corner, away from prying eyes and curious ears. James arrived, and then the private investigator started to share his information. The investigator lowering his voice.
James, I've compiled the information you requested about the 3 boys.
James nodded.
Thank you. I need to know what we're dealing with. The investigator handed over a file containing detailed reports on the 3 boys,
Carter, William, and Henry. The reports included family backgrounds, academic records, and, most importantly, photographic evidence. The investigator, pointing at the files.
Here are the details of Carter Davidson. His family resides in the affluent neighbourhood of Eastwood. His father's a prominent lawyer and his mother is a renowned surgeon. Carter himself has a history of disciplinary issues at school.
Go on. The investigator flipped through the files.
Next is William Parker. His family has a modest background living in the suburbs. His father works in construction and his mother is a nurse. William, however, seems to have a rather checkered history of minor criminal offences.
James raised an eyebrow.
Interesting.
The investigator pointed at the last file.
Finally, we have Henry Miller. His family resides in a middle-class neighborhood. His parents run a small business together. Henry seems to have a history of aggression, has been involved in several altercations at school.
James leaned back.
I see, and the photos?
The investigator slid a set of photographs across the table, a collection capturing the three boys engaging in various undesirable behaviours. The images painted a vivid picture of their antics, including smoking, teasing girls, and other delinquent activities. The investigator leaned forward.
These photos should serve as a leverage if needed, however. I would advise discretion in their use.
James nodded.
I appreciate your work. This information will help me protect my son.
As the investigator left the coffee shop, James sat alone, sipping his coffee, armed with the knowledge needed to confront the bullies. The photographs and reports would serve as a powerful tool to ensure the safety and well-being of Alex, empowering James to take the necessary steps to end the torment his son had endured for too long. After leaving the coffee shop, he came back home and dedicated the afternoon to his ongoing sign language studies. Isla, curious about his newfound interest, visited his study room. Learning about his commitment to learning sign language for Alex, she couldn't help but feel a surge of happiness for the evolving bond between father and son. As James continued his studies, the housekeeper prepared lunch for him. After a satisfying meal, he resumed his learning journey, undeterred and focused. The thoughtfulness and effort he put into mastering sign language reflected his sincere desire to bridge the communication gap with his son. Meanwhile, Alex completed his school day and returned home, ready to tackle his homework and enjoy a quiet evening with his father. When his father returned from picking him up, they engaged in light conversations while watching TV. It was during this moment that James gently broached the topic of school life, assuring his son that he could confide in him about any concerns or troubles. The days that followed were marked by a routine of school, bonding moments between father and son, and continued efforts in learning sign language. The evenings were spent sharing meals, discussing school experiences, and fostering a sense of security that Alex had been yearning for. In this heartening atmosphere, father and son were gradually building a stronger connection, guided by love, understanding, and the shared commitment to overcome challenges together. Over the next 3 weeks, James wholeheartedly dedicated himself to learning sign language. Every evening after dropping Alex home from school, he would spend hours practicing in his study room, using online resources and books, and even seeking guidance from instructional videos. The housekeeper, observing his commitments, continued to support him with encouragement and occasional assistance with sign language basics. As his proficiency grew, James started integrating sign language into their daily interactions. Simple gestures, expressions, and even the occasional improvised conversation in sign language became a part of their routine. Alex appreciated the effort and responded with smiles, nods, and expressive gestures of his own, deepening the bond between them. On one bright Sunday morning, after weeks of learning and practicing, James proposed a surprise outing. He took Alex to a lively amusement park where they spent the day enjoying various rides, playing games, and indulging in carnival treats. The laughter shared on the roller coaster and the joy of winning a stuffed animal at a game booth created cherished memories for both father and son. The following Sunday, they decided to embark on a beach picnic. James packed a basket with sandwiches, fruits, snacks, while Alex eagerly prepared a list of items he wanted to bring. They set off with a blanket, a frisbee, and a sense of excitement for a day filled with sun, sea, and shared moments. Arriving at the beach, they found a cozy spot, laid out the blanket, and enjoyed the rhythmic sounds of the waves. James, though initially unsure about setting up a frisbee game, followed Alex's lead and found himself thoroughly enjoying the activity. With sand between their toes and the ocean as their backdrop, they laughed, played, and shared a delightful picnic. In the weeks that followed, they continued to explore different activities on Sundays. A visit to an amusement park was followed by a movie and dinner outing, creating a delightful routine of shared experiences. These outings not only provided them with enjoyable moments, but also served as a bridge for communication and understanding. One evening, as they returned from a movie, James decided to express his feelings. With a gentle smile, he wrote and said,
"I am grateful for these moments with you."
Alex, understanding the sentiment, reciprocated with a hug, silently conveying his appreciation for the efforts his father had put into making these weeks special. The 3 weeks of shared experiences culminated in a newfound closeness between father and son. Their evenings were filled with laughter, shared meals, and the comforting presence of each other. The learning journey of sign language became more than just a means of communication. It became a symbol of their commitment to understanding and supporting one another. In the quiet embrace of their shared understanding, father and son looked forward to more adventures, more laughter, and a future filled with cherished moments. The morning cast a warm glow over Alex's room as he woke up on his special day. His father, filled with excitement, gently shook him awake and whispered,
"Happy birthday, my dear son."
Alex, greeted by his father's warm smile, responded with a nod and a bright smile of his own. The day unfolded as a relaxing Sunday. There were no school or work commitments, allowing them to enjoy a leisurely morning together. James prepared his favourite breakfast, and they spent the early hours of the day in simple yet heartwarming activities. A sense of joy permeated the air, building anticipation for the surprise birthday party that awaited Alex. In the afternoon, James, taking on the role of the master planner, began preparing for the evening celebration. The living room transformed into a festive space with colourful decorations, balloons, and a happy birthday banner. The aroma of a birthday cake wafted through the air, promising sweetness and delight. As the decorations took shape, James enlisted the help of the housekeeper, who joined in the preparations with enthusiasm. Jake's parents, having been invited to the surprise celebration, also arrived to lend a hand. The collaborative effort added a personal touch to the festivities, turning the space into a warm and inviting setting. Meanwhile, Jake had been informed of the surprise birthday party plan. To keep Alex unaware, Jake suggested spending the afternoon at the park, ensuring they returned only after the preparations were complete. Around 6 p.m, the door swung open to reveal Alex and Jake. To their surprise, a beautiful shower of flower petals cascaded down on them, eliciting gasps of amazement. The living room had transformed into a magical birthday haven, sparkling joy in Alex's eyes. The guests, including Jake's family and the housekeeper's family, greeted them with cheerful birthday wishes. The atmosphere was filled with laughter and excitement, setting the stage for a memorable celebration. Seated at the dining table, Alex found himself in front of a beautifully decorated cake. As he prepared to cut the cake, the room fell into a hush and everyone began singing "Happy Birthday" in sign language. Alex, stunned by the unexpected and heartwarming gesture, looked around in amazement. His father, too, joined in the signing, making the moment even more special. After the song concluded, Alex, still processing the surprise, turned to his father and signed, "Did you learn sign language for me?" His father, wearing a proud and affectionate smile, responded with a resounding "yes" in sign language. Overwhelmed with emotion, Alex embraced his father tightly, feeling a profound sense of love and understanding. The party unfolded with joyous celebrations, delicious food, and lively games. Conversations flowed seamlessly, transcending verbal communication. The room echoed with laughter and shared moments, creating memories that would be cherished for years to come. As the night drew to a close, the guests bid farewell to Alex and his father. Gratitude and warmth filled the air as they expressed their thanks for the delightful celebration. In sign language, Alex conveyed his appreciation, sealing the night with a heartfelt "Thank you." As the door closed behind the departing guests and Alex and his father embraced the quiet of their home, Alex, filled with gratitude, signed a simple yet heartfelt "thank you" to his father. They exchanged smiles, a silent acknowledgement of the bond strengthened by the day's celebration, and then retired to their rooms, ready to carry the warmth of the birthday festivities into the nights to come. The next morning in the James household unfolded with the usual routine. Father and son shared moments of connection over breakfast before James dropped him off at school. Meanwhile, James geared up for an important meeting at the office. The meeting room was abuzz with excitement as board members, shareholders and James gathered to discuss the company's trajectory under the new CEO's leadership. Anticipation filled the air as the CEO entered, exchanging greetings, and commenced the meeting with a confident demeanour.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Today I'm thrilled to share the positive changes we've implemented within the company.
The CEO delved into a comprehensive presentation, highlighting the internal transformations that had been set in motion. Key among these was the establishment of a family-friendly workplace fostering loyalty and boosting employee productivity. Graphs and charts showcased a remarkable increase in market capital, profits and customer satisfaction.
These changes have created a more cohesive and efficient work environment. Our employees are happier, and this positivity is reflected in our services and client relationships. Now let's discuss our upcoming targets and strategies to sustain this momentum.
As the CEO wrapped up the presentation, the room erupted in applause. The meeting concluded with discussions among the attendees before they dispersed for the day.
Back at home, James couldn't hide his satisfaction. The growth of the company marked a significant achievement, and to celebrate, he decided to bring home Alex's favourite pastries.
The clock ticked away, and it was time for James to pick up Alex from school. Arriving at the school, he eagerly waited for Alex to emerge from the building. When Alex appeared, excitement and a hint of concern were written all over his face. "Dad, there's something I need to tell you."
Of course, Alex. What's going on?
Alex recounted the incidents during his art class where the 3 bullies had once again targeted him. James's expression shifted to concern, and he reassured Alex that he would address the situation.
Don't worry, Alex. I won't let anyone harm you. Let's go talk to the principal. With determination, father and son entered the principal's office. The principal greeted them, but James, visibly upset, got straight to the point. There's a serious issue, and I want it resolved immediately. My son, Alex, who you know is mute, has been repeatedly bullied by 3 boys in his class.
The principal, now aware of the gravity of the situation, immediately called the boys and their parents to the office. As they entered, the tension in the room was palpable. The principal addressed the parents, explaining the reason for the meeting.
There has been a complaint of bullying against your sons by Alex. We need to address this matter promptly. The parents, shocked and concerned, listened attentively to the principal's words. The dialogue between the parents, principal and James unfolded, addressing the issue at hand. In the principal's office, James confronted the parents of the 3 bullies. The parents, defensive at first, dismissed the accusations, claiming that Alex was lying. I have witnesses and photos. If I release these to the media or on social platforms, your son's reputation and yours will be tarnished. Would you like that? The threat hung in the air, and the parents, realizing the gravity of the situation, stepped back. James displayed the incriminating photos, revealing the boys engaging in undesirable behaviours. Apologize to my son, and from now on ensure your boys protect him from other bullies. If anyone troubles my son, they will be held responsible. The parents, confronted with the potential fallout, asked what it would take to resolve the matter and make Alex feel secure. Apologize to my son, and if anyone bullies my son, these 3 will be held accountable. The parents, now aware of the gravity of the situation, urged their sons to apologize. Say sorry to Alex. The 3 boys, their pride subdued, mumbled reluctant apologies and promised to protect Alex. With the resolution achieved, James and Alex left the principal's office. In the car, Alex, brimming with happiness, expressed his gratitude using sign language. Thank you for protecting me, Dad. Protecting you is my duty. You're my son. After coming home, both of them freshened up and sat to watch TV. While watching TV, Alex completed his homework and enjoyed the delicious dinner made by Isla. As the night wore on, Alex, feeling secure in his father's arms, drifted into a peaceful sleep. James tucked him into bed, watching over him with a smile. The next morning, Alex woke up to the comforting aroma of breakfast. His father, already in the kitchen, greeted him with a warm smile. They shared a hearty breakfast before James dropped Alex at school.
The days that followed were filled with a newfound sense of security for Alex. The 3 boys, once bullies, had transformed into protectors, ensuring no harm befell Alex.
Dad, no one bullied me today. Those 3 boys were protecting me.
James, seeing Alex's happiness, felt a sense of relief. The days passed uneventfully, and soon summer holidays arrived. Alex, bubbling with excitement, shared his plans for the holidays with Jake and his sister in their society. The story concluded with a promise of a brighter future, where father and son stood united against adversity, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The warmth of the summer sun streamed through the windows as Alex and father settled in for a relaxing evening after the resolution of the bullying issue. The decision to watch Alex's favourite anime movies, with delicious snacks and pastries, was met with enthusiasm.
How about an anime marathon tonight, Alex? We've got your favourite snacks and pastries ready.
Alex, with a bright smile, nodded in agreement, and they began their movie night. The room echoed with laughter, the sound of animated characters, and the clinking of snack bowls. Alex used sign language to say, "This is the best. Thank you, Dad." James signed back,
"Anything for you, Alex."
As they immersed themselves in the captivating world of anime, the table snacks added to the joy of the moment. The room was filled with the aroma of popcorn, the crunching of chips, and the occasional bursts of laughter. While engrossed in the movie, Alex gradually dozed off in his father's comforting arms. James watched his son sleep, a smile playing on his lips. James whispered,
"I'll always protect you, my boy."
Carefully cradling Alex, James carried him to his room and tucked him in. The room was quiet, and the soft glow of the night light illuminated the serene scene as father and son drifted into a peaceful sleep. The next morning, the aroma of breakfast cooking wafted through the house. Alex, refreshed from a good night's sleep, descended the stairs to find his father in the kitchen.
"Morning, Alex. How about some pancakes for breakfast?"
Alex nodded happily, appreciating his father's effort to make the morning special. As they sat down to breakfast, conversation flowed between them.
"How was school yesterday, Alex?"
Alex shared the details of his day, making sure to mention the newfound protection from the 3 boys. Using sign language, he said,
"Dad, they were there for me. No one bullied me yesterday."
James signed back,
"I'm glad to hear that. You deserve to feel safe and happy."
After breakfast, James dropped Alex off at school and headed to his office for a day filled with company responsibilities. The office buzzed with activity, and meetings occupied James's schedule. Later in the day, as he picked up Alex from school, he sensed a change in his son. Alex was excited, animatedly signing to his father about the events of the day. It seemed he had shared the news with Jake during their lunch period. Alex, using sign language, said, "Jake knows, Dad. He said it's awesome that those 3 are protecting me." James signing back,
"I'm glad you have friends who care about you, Alex."
The days rolled on, marked by a sense of normalcy and security. With the summer holidays approaching, the anticipation in Alex's eyes was palpable. Excited to share the news with his father, Alex burst into the house, bubbling with energy. "Dad, it's summer vacation. What are we going to do?" James smiled, realizing that this break was a chance to create even more cherished moments with his son.
"We'll plan something special, Alex. It's going to be an unforgettable summer."
As they eagerly anticipated the upcoming holidays, father and son revelled in the newfound joy and the assurance that their bond could weather any storm. The summer holidays unfolded with a promise of joy and adventure for Alex and his father. They had decided to embark on a memorable journey together, creating lasting memories. In the meantime, Alex enjoyed the initial days of the break with Jake and his sister in their close-knit society. Alex's days were filled with laughter, games, and shared moments that strengthened his friendship with Jake. As the trio explored their little world within the society, Alex felt a sense of belonging and happiness that he hadn't experienced in a while. One sunny afternoon, Alex and Jake sat on the swings at the neighbourhood park, the warm breeze carrying their laughter. Jake grinning.
"So, Alex, are you excited about your trip with your dad?"
Alex nodded enthusiastically, expressing his excitement through sign language.
"It's going to be awesome. You guys deserve it. You've been through a lot, but now everything seems so much better."
Alex smiled, grateful for the support of his friend.